Hello, fourth graders. Today we're going to continue talking about angles, circles, and we're also going to be talking about fractions. So in one of the videos, you heard that in a circle, we have 360 degrees when you go all the way around an angle. And that is absolutely true. So you also know that this angle here measures 90 degrees, and this is 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Because the measure of a circle is 360 degrees, because 90 degrees plus 90 degrees plus 90 degrees plus 90 degrees equals 360 degrees. You might even notice that half of this is then 180 degrees. What if we were to think of that, of these sections, right, of each section as a fraction? How many sections do I have here? How many equal size pieces? Go ahead and say it out loud. I'm shading in 4 equal size pieces, right? So one of these sections, right now the orange section, would be 1/4 of the circle. Is there an equivalent fraction for 1/4? Do you see one? Well, there certainly is. Are you seeing it now as I draw this in? Oops, sorry. How many pieces do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So an equivalent fraction would be 3/12. Awesome. I am showing you this because in your upcoming math, you're going to see some problems that are like that. And I want to make sure you know how to do them. The other thing I want to show you is just thinking about this little sliver right here. Thinking about this sliver. Well, we know that that sliver is 1/12, right? We know that this sliver is also 1/12. All 3 of them together would be a total of 3/12 because it was just 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12, which gives us 3/12. So we know it's 3/12, but what if I wanted to know what is the measure of this angle? Could you tell me based on what you see? Well, if a circle, if this whole thing is 360 degrees, what is this measure angle? And this is 1/4 of the entire circle. So what is 1/4 of 360? Well, you probably see that this is a 90-degree angle. So what's the measure of all of these angles? Well, that's simple. That's 90 degrees divided by those 3 angles, and that gives us 30 degrees, which tells us that each of these angles is 30 degrees. So from the 12 to the 1, it's 30 degrees. From the 1 to the 2, it's 30 degrees. From the 2 to the 3, it's also 30 degrees. In your upcoming Seesaw assignment, it's going to ask you, what is the fraction of the whole turn? And all that means is, what is this fractional amount shown here? That's all it wants to know. And we know that this can be divided into 12 equal size pieces because we saw that on the last slide. So we already know that. So if we were to extend it just like I was about to do, how many pieces would be represented here? Go ahead and answer that out loud or on your piece of paper. Well, we know that we can see the number here, it's 12. 12 pieces, how many are shaded? 2/12. Maybe some of you were saying, oh, well, 1/6 is shaded because that's an equivalent fraction. Yes, you're right. But the paper's also going to ask you, that you're going to solve online, what is the degree of that angle? What does that measure? Well, that's where you have to use that knowledge of each of these tick marks makes it 30 degrees. So this is 30 degrees. This angle measures 30 degrees. So you just have to add those then together. So what's 30 plus 30? 60. So the angle of this is 60 degrees. Again, it's going to ask you, what is the fraction of the whole term? And that just means, what is this shaded amount? And that would either hopefully be, you would either say hopefully 1/2, which is equivalent to 6 out of 12 pieces. Now, remember from our other slides that each one of these is worth 30 degrees. Every one of these is 30 degrees. So 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees. Whew, 30, 60, 90, 30, 60, 90. Add them together to get 180. Some of you I might have also saw, well, I know, Miss Reeve, that this measures all the way around. It measures 360 degrees. And I know that 360 divided by 2 is 180 degrees. So I know that this measure would just be 180 degrees. What is the fraction of the turn, and what is the measure of this angle? Pause the video and see if you can solve this problem without me. Hopefully you paused the video and now you're ready to see if your answer is correct. Well, I see here that I have one piece. I've got 3 total pieces out of 12, which I know is just equivalent to 1/4 of the clock. So there's my fraction. And I know that from here to here, it's 30 degrees, and here to here, it's 30 degrees, and here to here is 30 degrees. And 30 plus 30 is 60, plus another 30 is 90. Now, maybe you were able to see that, and you didn't need to add all that up. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't get it right, what went wrong? What is the fraction of the turn, and what is the degree of that angle? What is the degree of that angle? Pause the video and try and do it on your own. Hopefully you paused the video and you are now ready to solve this. So what is the fraction of the turn? How many, if I were to extend this, how many are shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4/12, which is also equivalent to, because remember, I can divide by the top and the bottom by the same number. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So maybe you said 1/3. And then we need to know, what is the degree of that angle? What is this What does that equal? What is that in degrees? So I remember Miss Greaves said, and pardon my drawing, that each one of these from there to there is 30 degrees. 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 60, 90. So 30 plus 30 equals 60, plus another 30 plus 30 equals 60, for a total of 60 plus 60 is 120 degrees. I can't forget my degree symbol. And mine's a little messy. It's kind of hard to write on the computer, which I know you'll probably see in Seesaw. But yeah, that's 120 degrees. So the measure of this angle is 120 degrees, and the fraction of the turn is 1/3. How did you do? Were you right? What if you weren't, what went wrong? This is what your assignment's going to look like, but I can't remember quite how many problems you have. I think it's around 8. And as you can see, as I said, it has angle measure and fraction of the whole turn. So it wants to know again, what is this fraction in here? And hopefully you can see that that is 1/4 of the whole clock. And then what is the measure of that angle? And hopefully you can see that that's just a 90-degree angle, and so is this. But if you didn't see that, remember that from 11 to 12, it's 30 degrees, 10 to 11, 30 degrees, 9 to 10, 30 degrees. Add those up. So the angle of both of these would be 90 degrees, and the fraction of the turn with both of them is 1/4, because 1/4 of it is shaded. If you need any help on your assignment, let me know.